Christy Andrews. And an original piece that she, I guess if I say it's an original piece, that assumes you wrote it. I don't have to say it's an original piece she wrote. Yeah. Good morning. Welcome to Tucson New Thought. I know everyone in the room, but I will introduce myself anyway for anyone who might be watching online and let you know that I am Reverend Jonathan Zenz. I am the founding spiritual director here at Tucson New Thought. And Sunday morning is a time and a place where we check in every single week to allow ourselves to relax into the notion that there is a power and a presence that is love, the energy of love, and it is infinitely creative, and it is the core of who each and every one of us is. That's what we celebrate here at Tucson New Thought. We are here to create a world that works for everyone, and we do this through providing practical tools for personal transformation and awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence. And here is what I know about each and every one of you, and it is this: you are magnificent. You are magnificent, right? Yeah. I just would like for us to take a look around the room. You don't have to stand up. Just take a look around the room and recognize the magnificence in the faces of every single person who's present. Yeah. I'm going to invite Grace to join me. You have a choice, yes. Grace is going to support me in our ritual ceremony called Lighting the Flames of Faith. Lighting the Flames of Faith is an exercise that we engage in every single week to deepen into our understanding that all spiritual paths, all faith traditions, all religious ideologies are born from that golden thread of love that I talked about. And when we come to understand that this is the springboard from which they're all expressing, then we find more compassion in our hearts for all people that we encounter, because not everybody's part of this philosophy. And so for each candle that we light, we are knowing that one truth, the infinite truth of wholeness. So we light a candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. It's a switch there. Yeah, there you go. Yes, we light a candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light a candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light a candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light a candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light a candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light a candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the divine will of love as the highest calling. We light a candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light a candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We light a candle for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of spirit in their lives, and for the space that we are holding for them, and for all faith traditions unnamed in this ceremony. And this final candle we light is a candle to represent the healing of any circumstance which requires divinity to be revealed, for that is the true nature of healing, the revelation of divinity in our circumstances. So this is your candle for whatever is in your mind and in your heart that requires the light. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. I will invite you to draw your attention to the candle to your right. This is our peace candle, and we keep the peace candle lit at all times with the understanding that as we keep it lit as a metaphor, it is reflective of the illumination of peace within our hearts that is consistently lit and constantly shining forth. And while we can try to cover it up and dim it, our work is to uncover, let go, and allow the peace to flow. We honor this candle utilizing these words of James Dillett Freeman, slightly modified, and I invite you to read this with me. Truly, the light of peace surrounds us, the love of peace enfolds us, the power of peace protects us, and the presence of peace watches over us. Wherever we are, peace is. Wherever we are, peace is. So let's take some moments of peaceful reflection as I invite you to close your eyes if it's comfortable and relax right where you are. Allowing ourselves to come to that centered space of awareness of the power and presence that is fully expressing itself right here in this time and in this place, for it is fully expressing itself at all times and in all places, for there is nothing but this infinite creative source. Source is all there is. And so let us root ourselves into the notion of this particular truth. The creative energy of the universe is expressing itself magnificently in the here and now and in every here and now moment. As we settle into this time of reflection, I invite us each to do so with this month's affirmation in mind. This month's affirmation, simply put, I am lovable, loving, and loved infinitely. So allow yourself to take this to heart in this one perfect moment and in this one perfect moment and in this one perfect moment. Hear these words in your own mind as you, as yours. I am lovable, loving, and loved infinitely. So allowing this to be in mind, dropping a little bit deeper into this perfection of energy flowing forth as each and every one of us. I invite your focus to fall to your breath. And as you breathe in, allow yourself to root into the knowledge, I am lovable. And as you breathe out, I am lovable. As you take your breath in, I am loving. And breathing out, I am loving. Breathing in, I am loved. And breathing out, I am loved. Love is at the core of this entire experience. For love is who and what each and every one of us is. And the infinite love, this infinite creative source, is unfolding itself magnificently as the expression of our lives. Let us each be rooted in that understanding, in the infinite faith that love is present by means of each and every one of us. This is the truth, and I let it be.
this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I can hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
This month is rooted in the theme, colors of love. And I've had some people ask me about that. What does that mean, colors of love? And the way I will describe it is to say this. Each and every one of us is the expression of love. But neither one of us, none of us, no one of us is exactly the same. And so love expresses itself like that infinite rainbow in many, many facets, in many ways. A friend of mine wrote a song that I'm too scared to sing yet. I will. It is a big song that requires a gospel choir as backup. Right? Yeah. I think somebody says that on occasion. It's called Stained Glass Window. And basically the premise of it is, if we are all like those individual panes in a stained glass window, what comes through is magnificently beautiful. And all those colors create the pure light. Right? And so each and every one of us is that pure light of love. So that's really what colors of love means to me. But you also get to decide what it means to you. Let's see if there's infinite wisdom that flows forth. If you would provide for me, please, a number between 25 and 423, and it can be inclusive of those numbers. 88. I heard 88 first. There are 4 paragraphs. Which one shall I look at? 4? Okay. No, it's good. It is. It's always good. It's always perfect. I'm going to give you a trigger warning.
Oh, good.
There is a three-letter word in there that is a trigger for many people who come to this particular branch of New Thought. You know what? You've drawn this to yourself. I'm just saying. We each of us draw it to ourselves, right? Right? Yeah. All right. This is how it reads. There is something in the human mind that desires to think of God or spirit as person. Just think about that. There is something in the human mind. Now, when we talk about human mind, we're talking about our use of the infinite consciousness. We're talking about our use of an infinite mind. That there's no separation, but we call it our own. You know, we call our mind our own, but it's actually part of the indivisible wholeness. And we limit our ideas in mind. We limit our ideas in mind to have an experience on this plane of action. And we're the ones who decide whether or not the experience is good or bad. We're the ones who make those judgments. But there is something in the human mind, in our use of that indivisible mind, that desires to think of God or spirit as person, as something. Now but yes. What really comes up for me is I think he's speaking in this particular instance to a particular ideology that many of us have moved past. Again, the book is written in the early part of the last century. This revised edition published in 1938. And he is speaking to a large portion of the population that has been brought up with a particular idea of God as this being that has an expression that many people suggest looks human. I don't know where they get that idea. And you know, that father figure sitting on the clouds, sitting in a golden throne in the clouds with a long white beard, scolding us for all the things that we're doing wrong down here. And I think when he says, there is that within each and every one of us that desires that this thing be reflected as person, that is just a reflection of the time. So I do think that we have moved past this because we really do root ourselves in this notion that it is neither father nor mother. It is not a being. It is the infinite beingness, and that is who and what we are. Here's the thing. God is expressing as person. Through us. Are we not people? But it also is suggestive of this. God, the thing itself, love, spirit, source, infinite creative mind, whatever you choose to call it, is expressing itself by means of the chair. By means of the microphone or the elusive flame. You know. The funny thing is, this particular talk does not get podcast. We podcast the 10:30 talk, and I realize how frequently I do things that require visual reference. When I listen to the podcast, I think, if anybody's listening to this, they have no idea why everybody's laughing. Yeah, it is what it is. So, we desire, he suggests, to see this indivisible spirit as a thing, as a person, but it is all things. Anything which has been in the human mind since time began, anything we are able to erase from the human mind as a deep urge arises out of reality. I have to read that again because I'm not even sure that I know what that means. And this is the challenge of being a minister and being put on the spot. So, there is something in the human mind that desires to think of God or spirit as person. Anything which has been in the human mind since time began, anything we are unable to erase from the human mind as a deep urge arises out of reality. I know what he's saying here. he's actually saying what I'm saying. Anything that can possibly be expressed in the world of form, whether it's on this plane of action or some other plane of action, because we're at this point mostly only aware of this plane of action, right? Anything that can be expressed in the world of form is rooted in that which is, what did he say? A deep urge that is unable to be erased from the infinite mind. Everything that possibly can express, everything that ever will express, everything that ever has expressed lives infinitely in this universal mind. All knowledge exists within it. All wisdom exists within it. Beyond time and space, beyond the limitations of time and space, everything is in this universal mind. And why that's important is because we go through a process of unfoldment as this thing called source, as this thing called spirit, as this thing called love. We are in a consistent state of unfoldment. In the same way that ancient peoples did not know the power of electricity or how to harness it or utilize it, that doesn't mean that potential did not exist. It always existed. But it took our unfoldment to be able to utilize it in such a way that we can light this room, we can light this stage, we can plug in and have a piano work, have a keyboard, I won't call it a piano, have a keyboard work. But it took that evolution to allow us to be where we are now. There's a lot going on in my evolutionary life that is both frustrating and challenging. Can anyone relate to that? Am I the only one who's challenged ever? Just me? Oh no. What am I to do? There's a lot going on in my life. And one of the things that I was taught in ministry, and I want to be clear, the reason I'm not going to talk about what's going on in my life is because I don't have a point of view around certain aspects yet. When I have a spiritual understanding and point of view, that's the only time I will ever bring stuff up. If I have not worked through it, what's the point of bringing it up except to bring it up? Right? Ooh, bring it up. So I've got stuff that I'm working on, and it's what is unfolded is a sequence of circumstances, which we call events in the frame of time and space, right? There has been a sequence of circumstances, many of which seem unexpected. But on the infinite level, they all must be expected because the infinite is always working in terms of evolution and unfolding itself. And so when I step back and I say, I see that this is all happening. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I don't have a point of view around it yet. It feels like maybe this is the right thing. It feels like maybe this is the right choice for my life. It feels like this is what is meant to be. But I actually don't know. And so what do I do? And this is the lesson for each and every one of us. When we are faced with these seeming changes in our life, and they will happen, whether they're happening in this moment actively or not. They do consistently unfold, and some change is more subtle. A lot of change is much more explicit. We're always in that place of change. And so as I'm looking at the opportunity for change in my life, I think, how do I know what the right choice is in terms of what I see laid out before me? Because I can make choices in all of it. I can make choices to go in this direction, I can make choices to go in this direction, I can make choices to go in this direction, I can make choices to go in that direction, because it's not just one or the other, it's what are the options laid out before me? And above me and below me. I see you. I go inside and quiet my mind, just like the lyrics of the song say. And I hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. I talked about this on the Mindful Moment on Thursday, I think. where I talked about decision making. And sometimes what we really just need to do is just make any decision in any direction. Because here's the thing, we live in so much fear of making the wrong decision, we become disabled. We become paralyzed by that. Why not just make a decision and trust in the flow of circumstances to let us know if the decision was right or wrong for us? And in doing so, if it goes in a direction that does not feel so good, why can't we make another decision? We also feel like we are paralyzed by our decisions. So we're both paralyzed in not making a decision, and we sometimes feel like we are paralyzed in the decisions we have made. But there is always choice. That is the magnificent gift that we all live. We are beingness. I'm trying to figure out how to not make this completely like we're separate. We are expressions of beingness with infinite choice. We are expressions of beingness with infinite choice. But the only time we think there is no choice, it's just a decision we have made to live a life outside of choice. And so this illuminates me in this moment around the very issue that I'm talking about, that I don't have a point of view around, but maybe I do have a point of view around it. I'm still not going to tell you what's going on in my life. But what I can tell you is that you will know soon. And it's related to space issues. Yes. It is related to space issues around Tucson New Thought. That's really what it's, so, and I have these choices that have been laid out before me, some expected, some unexpected. I have these choices and I'm going, what do I do? Trust me, I've already talked to some of the members of my board around what the options are. Well, what I can tell you is that I faced the fear and I did it anyway. I actually made a choice to move in a particular direction, and I'm waiting to find out what the results of that are. And it's scary, because I'm also, it may be that I'm saying to a community, hey, we just moved into this space, and we may only be using this space for 4 Sundays. And now people are going, I really want to know what's going on. That's a possibility. It's a possibility that we may have 2 more Sundays in this space. Actually, I guess that would be a total of 5 Sundays. We have 2 more Sundays in this space, and on Sunday, March 1st, we may be somewhere else. Possible. It's possible. I am going to, I appreciate the question, is that a place that will make me happy? I'm going to choose not to answer that in the moment. Because there are infinite choices. And if the thing that I think may happen does not happen, well, then I don't want to get anybody's hopes up. That's also part of the reason. There are always other choices, yeah. And your hopes are always up. Wow, this whole thing, this random reading really took a turn that I was not expecting. You know what? I would love for, as people are coming in for the 10:30, if you run into any of them, you should say, wow, you really miss out when Reverend Jonathan does not do his prepared talk because you don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. Improv. I think I need to dial it back. So I'm going to dial it back to the quote, because I'm also looking at the time, right? There is something in the human mind that desires to think of God or spirit as person. Anything which has been in the human mind since time began, anything we are unable to erase from the human mind as a deep urge arises out of reality. Now, I'm going to take the hyphenated portion out of that sentence and say, anything which has been in the human mind since time began arises out of reality. He utilizes the capital R here to speak of infinite reality. And if anyone is reading the book, you'll see sometimes those things are capitalized, sometimes they're not. And there is a purpose and meaning behind the capitalization. When it's capitalized, his point of view is that this is the infinite reality, infinite spirit, infinite soul, infinite beingness. And so as I settle myself into knowing that the choices that I have made around this community as the spiritual leader of this community are the right choices, irrespective of the way they play themselves out, I know that we are always rooted in love and light, and that this community thrives. That this community thrives. Not because of anything we do in the world of form, but just because of who we are. We are the thrilling expression of love. Oh. And I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to say this every single week, that I am blessed by your presence. That I experience love in a deeper way because of this community. And that there is something at the core of each and every one of our hearts that so desires the full expression of this thing called life, that this idea of Tucson New Thought, this idea of fill in the blank for whatever's in your life, is an unstoppable, unceasing force for good. That's how I choose to live. That's how I choose to be. For God is not that thing outside myself. God is me expressing as personhood. That's the truth. And so it is. And so it is. Let us take that to heart. Sorry, I've got a lot of pages to address there. Let us take that to heart as we root ourselves with our benediction song. Benediction is such a funny word. It means blessing. And so let us be blessed in our understanding that as we bless the world by expressing this energy, it is like this, sending our love over the mountains, over the sea, into the heavens, and it always returns to us fully formed as the expression of our lives.
I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. Right here, in this moment, I recognize and know that there is only one infinite power and presence. There is only one source. There is only one life energy. There is only one thing going on. There is source and nothing else. There is creative energetic flow and nothing else. There is love and nothing else. And this is who and what each and every one of us is. We are this source. We are this creative energetic flow. We are love embodied and unfolding and expressed and magnificently living the life of the divine and calling it our own. Rooted in this understanding, rooted in this deep, deep sense of wholeness right here and right now. Knowing that there is no separation, there is only our identity as this wholeness. I speak my word on behalf of each and every one of us to know that we are on our perfect path, that what lies before us is magnificently unfolding, that what lies before us is easy and graceful, that what lies before us are all the right and perfect decisions. And as we make those decisions, our lives are better for it. And so I live in a state of constant unfoldment. We, each and every one of us, live in this state of constant unfoldment. Knowing this to be so, and with deep gratitude in my heart that it is so, I simply relax, release, let go, allow, and let it be. As together we say, and so it is. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. And it returns to me. And so it is.
I invite you to take what it is you're offering the center today in terms of a contribution, your tithe, your investment, your gift, and hold it in your hand and recognize and know it as the creative, energetic, loving flow that is the infinite nature of the divine power, the divine presence unfolding itself in this form right here and right now. Recognize and know that it is a blessing to this organization. It is a blessing to each and every one of us individualized. And as it moves through this time in this place, it does great work to create a world that works for everyone. For that being our vision here, I hold that vision closely and relax into this knowingness. As you hold it, let's read together the divine givingness statement. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that spirit is the source and substance of my supply. I joyously contribute to the vision of my spiritual center, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. We will sing our gratitude song while Karimon passes the basket.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, 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 I'm so grateful. Oh, please resolve the chord. If you would, Aiden, with the lights. Oh, can you make sure the Apple TV is unmuted? Sorry. I'm going to go back. And we'll try that again.
Good morning, everyone. Here are your Tucson New Thought announcements for February 9th, 2020. Join us this Wednesday at 6 o'clock p.m. for our midweek spiritual practice. Christy Andrews returns for another amazing night of toning and crystal bowls. As always, our Wednesday night practice is offered on a free will donation basis. Your support ensures we can continue to expand what we offer each week. We look forward to seeing you on Wednesday with Christy. Are you willing to be of service to our community? We are always looking for support on Sundays to serve as greeters and provide hospitality. We are grateful for all of our volunteers and their amazing commitment to sacred service in our community. To sign up for an opportunity to be of service, please speak with a member of our Leadership Council or simply sign up online at Tucson New Thought. You can sign up by clicking on the Volunteer Schedule item in the top menu. For more information on everything that's happening at Tucson New Thought, check out our website at tucsonnewthought.org and like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram and YouTube. Just search for Tucson New Thought on these various platforms. Thank you for being here and sharing your magnificence with us.
Yay. I want to say thank you to Aiden, who provides our technical support every week and makes sure that we go out to the internet, and we have people who watch every single Sunday, and for that I am deeply grateful. And thank you to everybody who is watching for being present with us here live this morning, and thank you if you're watching in the replay as well. I want to say thank you to Carrie-Mon, who was our greeter this morning, for her support. I want to say thank you to Grace, even though she has had to step out, for helping light the candles, as always. And I want to say thank you to Christy Andrews for your magnificence, bringing us the music that speaks to our soul and fills our hearts. Thank you so much for that. I especially want to say thank you to each and every one of you for being here, for shining your light and allowing yourself to be moved and inspired in whatever way suits you best to create the most magnificent life that you can create. I am grateful for your presence here. There is coffee when we are complete here. If you would like to step into the social area and have some coffee, I know that's something that you probably think I don't need any more of, but I might have a cup. We will see. But let's close out today with this notion that each and every one of us is loved.
I am seen, you are seen, you are heard, you are loved for who you are. You are enough, you are complete, you are loved. You are loved, you are loved, you are loved. I am seen, I am heard, I am loved for who I am. There is nothing I need to change. I am loved. 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 Make it a magnificent week, everyone. Thank you.